The next morning, I took a train south of Tokyo to Yokohama Sea Paradise. This would be my first visit to the park, and whilst it may only have one roller coaster, I was looking forward to seeing what else this aquarium park had to offer. The park opened in 1993 and is spread out across an entire island. There are 4 different aquarium sections, each with its own exhibits, and on top of that, there's a bunch of thrill rides as well. With all this going on in the park, it really is an island like no other. So today I've been visiting Yokohama Sea Paradise and riding this interesting coaster behind me, Surf Coaster Leviathan. Now you might notice I've got slightly wet, and that's something that happens on this ride. It's got some very big helixes, there's 3 of them, and in the middle of every one there's a jet of water. The layout of the ride is actually really good fun. It's interesting because the first drop, it doesn't actually take you all the way. It only goes part of the way down before taking over a nice big airtime hill. After that is just a mixture of interesting sort of sharp twists, some airtime hills, and like I said, these like giant helixes. As a result of this design, one thing the ride does really well is keep up a high speed throughout the whole track. The first drop may not be massive, but the track is smooth and the way it sails into the first airtime hill is pretty good. After that, you go into the first of the 3 giant helixes. This one builds up some quite intense G-force. Now you may even be able to see the jet of water that shoots up round about now. That's the one that got me wet. It may not look like that much, but the way the water comes up and then splashes down while you're still inside the helix does have quite a good effect. After that, you're into another airtime hill and a dive down into the second of the giant helixes. This one has a jet of water as well, just in case the first one didn't get you properly. After that, you dive into what's probably the fastest section of the ride as you zoom past the station and into the third and final helix. Now despite being over 25 years old, the ride is still actually very smooth, and like I said, it really maintains its speed well. After flying past the station one more time, you hit a small airtime hump and then dive out over the water before a sharp turnaround, and then you hit the final brakes. The park itself actually has a bit of a Jurassic World vibe to it. The main sort of centrepiece is this giant aquarium, which is like in a giant pyramid. Below the pyramid is where there's some really good sea life displays, whilst above there's a big arena used for shows. The rest of the park has some interesting quirks to it. I went to see the sea life show to find that all the seats in the arena, even though it was a really hot day, ended up having seat warmers. So you sit down and your bum gets scorching. It was a little bit uncomfortable. The show itself was pretty impressive, involving several different kinds of dolphins, along with belugas, and strangest of all, a section involving a magic walrus. Unfortunately, not all of the walrus's tricks went to plan, and they sometimes needed a bit of help from his human assistants. When one trick appeared to go wrong, it was rather expertly covered up by the walrus's stunt double, and the trick proceeded as planned. A true professional in action. Another show I saw involved probably the most lion-like sea lion I've ever seen. Its special trick was that it could actually write, which is more than I can do in the Japanese language. Having said that, I'm assuming it's writing. Perhaps it's a person delivering pizza to a house. Someone can probably give me the answer. Either way, the sea lion was justifiably proud of his hard work. Inside the main aquarium, there were several very impressive displays, including a variety of different jellyfish, which I always find strangely fascinating to watch. There was also some rather strange crab creatures from the bottom of the sea. They looked quite sinister. And so from the bottom of the sea to way up in the sky, the other main attraction ride-wise at Yokohama Sea Paradise is Blue Fall, which is a pretty massive Intamin drop tower. One of the sides actually has a little twist to it, whereby it actually doesn't drop you all the way on the first drop. It drops you probably about a quarter of the way, and you hang there for a second, then it drops you all the way down to the bottom. If you watch closely the left-hand side of this ride, you'll see what I mean. Unfortunately, they don't let you choose which ride you experience, so I only got to experience the standard drop. It was still pretty breathtaking though. One further strange thing about the ride is that they make you wear these strange orange ponchos, and I have no idea why. After checking out Blue Fall, I went up the park's observation tower, which really gives you a fantastic view. So far, I'd had an absolutely great day at Yokohama Sea Paradise. The coaster was really good fun, and the aquarium exhibits were really well done too. Unfortunately, Leviathan isn't the only sea monster that's made an appearance at Yokohama Sea Paradise, as this archive footage clearly shows. Godzilla attacks aside, I really enjoyed my time at Yokohama Sea Paradise. If you enjoy marine parks and roller coasters, it's well worth the trip from Tokyo. But all too soon, it was time for me to move on to my next destination. On the way back to Tokyo, I was going to stop off at Yokohama Cosmoworld to ride Diving Coaster Vanish. Check it out in the next video in this series. For now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.